Hello and welcome back to the Google APIs for Rust and YouTube Uploader development stream. It's Byron speaking. And today's issue has just arisen, I don't know actually, while doing a developer diary. And it's kind of odd that it now happens that I find this after such a long time. Namely, Rust doc search is broken in doc index. So for instance, what happens is if I go here somewhere, let's say AdSense, and I want to search for anything that is AdSense-y, like metadata, it will not find anything. Why? Because what it actually has here in a search bar or something is Google Custom Search. And this is, I don't know if it's new and was introduced with a fix in Cargo, or if this has been like that forever. I have no idea, but basically this search bar here is broken. It only works for the custom search. So if I want to search for CSE, I would find it right away. And this is what I want for everything. This is only happening though if you are looking at the doc index. The individual documentation will still work. So for instance, let's go to YouTube 3 target doc index. Well, now it's YouTube 3 again. I think that's also part of the problem. The search index here is probably overwritten when I create this doc index. But anyway, now you see the crate is correct. And if I want to search for insert, I will find what I expect to find. Yeah, so problem is the way I create this index. And in order to test this, I think first I want to get rid of the current one because I will have to regenerate this anyway and re-upload. And also, I'd like to use, or to try to rebuild the doc index, but only with a subset of the APIs, just for testing, because I will have to run this many times. So how does it work? Docs all, I think, is the one that will do it. And I thought I have a Travis special case somewhere. Travis, yeah. So I just have to set the Travis environment variable to something, and then docs all, for instance, should only build part of it. Nope. If def. So that already doesn't work. Oh. Well, no. Let's have a look again. Maybe this is not defined for some reason. If I just define it like that. Yeah, I mean, I would be fine doing it like that as well. Still Maps Engine. Either Maps Engine is indeed the part of the API list here, or it's all wrong. And I think it's all wrong. Oh, and sure, I'm silly. Because in fact, I have to remove all these dependency files which have not been regenerated. They don't depend on the environment, so the system just doesn't know that these need regeneration. So once again, if I run this, it should rebuild these dependency files, and now it's just YouTube that it will use. That's cool. Awesome. Why it's busy building, I don't really care about that, to be honest. I will have a look at two files of interest. One is the one that deals with the documentation. So I should have some CP invocation somewhere. Here it is. And here basically we define how that looks like. And the other one is the index file, or the generator for the index HTML, because that determines the path to the respective index HTML that we want to link here. So once again, yeah, okay, there it is. So if I open this again, that's basically the index file that we want to manipulate here. And this is a path that is going to change. And yeah, I think what I want to do is, first of all, I do it in an iterative way. So first of all, this copy, this API doc root. I think I want to rename this now. I want to. Okay, that's still the dir name, but I don't want to take everything that is inside, but instead I would like to copy this to something that is called like the API target. How does that work? So the API doc root, it also is depending on the style of the makefile that we generate here. To doc root, where is that here? Huh. I think that there are 2 bugs in here right now. Even though that's where the documentation ends up being. However, we have to rename this because it's all going to end up in one single big directory. And I think we want to have a nice folder name, and I still wonder. Let's see how he refers to this. How will he generate this name? He will use the extern crate name. And the extern crate name also depends on the target suffix. So I think the crate name is what we want to use as target directory in the doc subdirectory as well. So how to do that? Extern crate name, cool. We use it already here. Ah, I see. So basically, no wait. That's the source, right? And we just use it as a source directory here. So what we want to do, and where is this crate name coming from? Ah, it's coming from here. Okay, anyway. Is this still correct? I think this is correct. At least this works here, but the actual crate name must contain the target suffix here, because that's either CLI or it's API or nothing, but still it's something we have to refer to. So the goal here is to use this function to generate a output directory into, or an index output directory to which we will copy all the files. And yeah, let's see, do we call it anywhere else? Here we call it again central API index. We call it again. Wait, maybe I'm getting this wrong. To library to crate name, because library to crate name already contains the suffix. All right, so I got this wrong all the time. It's all good. It's all good. Relax. So let's see where best put this. The central API index, that's where the stuff is going to end up. And that's where we want to copy it. Basically, the dir name of the central API index is where we want to copy this. That's how I feel about this right now. The problem with that, I mean, we need a new index file in case we are doing rustdoc then, but nonetheless, we can copy it there. I think that should be all right. Like this. Same here, because we have to rename it effectively. So the cool thing is, within this API doc root, the index file already exists. However, this is not the case for this central API index. And that's what we want to fix. So all I would, because that's kind of the doc root here, so when you have seen me somewhere open this up, you see that you have to basically dive into this crate directory name to get the actual index HTML. But what we do is we copy this folder, rename it in the process, and what the system would like to have right now is an index file right here. But I think we can compensate for this just here in the when we actually link to that. I think that's what we should do. Right now it doesn't even know or care about CLIs, about command line interfaces. You'll have to teach it at some point, probably sooner than later, but not now. Yeah, so I think that renaming will be fine. So all that's left here is to be sure that this link is correct. So to external crate name with the suffix. But we basically have the crate name again. We have it twice. Crate dir is that. And then it really is crate dir plus that plus, oops, not like that, but like that, plus crate dir. And then in there's the index. It looks like a duplicate, but on the other hand, we need to be specific about this. You know, it's not really redundant, I mean, just looks like it. But it's not redundant in the whole scheme of things. Okay, good. So in theory, that already works. I shall remove the doc index just manually now and make the docs one more time. Oh. Whoa. It's in depths 122. Why would that happen? Does it not? Dir name. So the dir name function object has no attribute. Oh, okay. Central API. Oh, that's a function. Gee. Wait a second. No, I have to convert it. Yeah, I think the key part here is this, basically. Anyway, we'll just call this. I also wonder why it's a function. Could I not just pre-compute this? Here I use it with a different value as why it's a function. Makes sense. All right, I will just call it then. Gets longer and longer here. But yeah, that's what we have to do. We could obviously also use make functionality to get the dir name of the target, which would work similarly, and I might even consider doing this. Let's try make file dir name. Yeah, even though I could read the manual, I think it's better to just have a look at Stack Overflow because it's much more to the point. Great invention, by the way, so show me. Dir. Okay, that's it. So we do dir. Let's try it. Dir of the target. That should be it, and I do hope that truly is it. Do I use it somewhere else, maybe? Ah, yeah. No, wait, docs for API target at. Yeah, that's the doc index, and that's the target. Awesome. Good, so that should already do it for me. Now it's running cargo doc again, because its inputs have changed. It doesn't really have to rerun it because nothing there changed, but it doesn't know that. It just knows that one of the files it depends on has changed, and it obviously can't tell or get into details there. I'm just somewhat sad because now we have to wait for this thing to build, but on the other hand, it doesn't take that long. Unfortunately, it takes long. But it's also 20,000 lines, and I think it's also compiling it twice. When you have a look at the activity monitor, you usually see, okay, just Rust doc. I thought usually had two guys running one Rust C and one Rust doc. Oh. Oh. That's interesting. It has nonsense there. It's nothing. How come? I think this dir didn't work. But why? Huh. Come on. Open it up. Dir, see? That should have worked. What's the problem? Dir. Maybe it wants a space there. Yeah, we'll have a look at the generated file. Oh, wait. What's this? Yeah, let's try that again. Which will probably trigger a rebuild as well. And I will check the file though. It's API depths. So it now copies, well, of course it's clear text, nothing changed there. So we are relying on make to do the right thing. Actually, I can say n, not really. It will tell me what it would do. And that's really all I need now. Good, so it would copy the documentation folder and rename it. And yeah, I think that could be the right thing. Do I still have this one open? I kind of do. Let's open it one more time. Here. I'll just background this and have a look. No. Oh yeah, true, it's not yet there. Fine. Then all I can do is wait. And I can also think about what's going to be next, which is to link the CLI documentation as well, which is now being copied at least. Even though it doesn't build it yet. Right now it just builds one piece of documentation. Docs all. Oh yeah, but that's probably me, you know, I didn't hook it up yet. Docs all. Oh. Actually, that's not me. Doc index. Okay, I'm slightly digressing. Still, this docs all is actually right now a duplicate. Oh no, wait. If global targets is only done once, right? Global targets, and that is only done if global targets is true, and I think that's just set in the type API configuration file. Global targets, yes. So that's the way I determine that certain global targets that have not yet been kind of made multi-target or multi-type, that these are only done once, right? This is why this actually works. So for now, you know, we just exclude other documentation that might be there. Okay, let's have a look. Let's open this. Open. Interesting. Looks different now. Oh, it looks different because I don't have all the CSS files that I need. Previously, they have been in the very same directory. So main CSS, for instance, isn't there anymore. And yeah, I think I will just link this to the first one I find. So main CSS. Yeah, that should work. So somewhere here in the loop, API list keys. And for the version, whoa. Okay. So I have to iterate this just once. Okay, that shall come next. For now, this is just minor. more importantly, this should work now, and it does. That's good. All right. So that's verified. Insert will now give you the expected result. Awesome. So last thing. I need basically what I want is to have like YouTube 3 main CSS. It will be Google YouTube 3. So for this, I just need to generate, I mean, this will be duplicated all over the place. So all I need is the first API. Name and version to give me that particular prefix. So first API prefix, something like that. And does it actually substitute this? I hope so. Should be, even though the syntax highlighter doesn't really know about it yet. Yeah, should work. If not, I will make it work, no problem. First API prefix. Yeah, that should definitely be set then. Now I will just go through here. Yeah, like that. Now indentation plays a role. So if we have an index here, we will definitely break after a while for each API name, for each version. So we just search the first valid index that there is. If we find one, we will then, oh, look at that. It's the it's actually this, the create directory that we want. Let's have a function for this. Create dir_fn. Again, create dir, let's call it like that. Name version, and that shall return this because I will reuse that now. Again, create dir name version. Here we go. Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to use a function here because that way I can put this onto the next line, and I think I will generally be a happier person with that solution. Yeah, these line breaks usually kill maintainability because it's much harder to read them. Good. Can this work? I think it can. Again, create dir. And yeah, this also checks if it's a file. And so we have to use this once to get the file checked, and then we will just set the prefix, which obviously is relative to this file. So we don't want to have this entire absolute folder here. Is it absolute? No, it's not absolute. Wait, create here. Yeah, but still, we don't want to have this duplication here. So we are just specifically calling this. That's how it is. So it's an, it's v, and that's the first prefix, and that should do something. Let's see. Should also be smart enough to just regenerate a single one. Apparently. Look, and there it could find the main CSS with all the dependencies, and that looks pretty good. Awesome. So that has been fixed successfully, I suppose. And all I have to do now is to hit the regenerate button and re-upload the entire documentation, which will probably be much larger now. I mean, even the documentation for YouTube now is how big? 74 megabyte. Oh my god. I think it's going to blow up in my face. I might have to find a better solution for this, as to keep the search index separate. Because this, or to deduplicate, maybe using symlinks or something after the fact, because this is just too crazy here. Man. Yeah, I might deduplicate. I know that deduplication will kick in anyway, but I mean on the Git side, but I'm not sure what GitHub will do if this thing expands to a gigabyte or something, which could easily happen, especially when the additional when the additional generated documentation for the command line interface comes in as well. So that will definitely require some additional work, I guess. But for now, I'm okay with it, and I will just see what it does, right? So thanks for watching, and have a good